What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in today's video is going to be full of announcements, so I would highly recommend sticking around for those. We will be talking about Dimensions and 20 or Floor 20 as well in this video. We will be doing that first. Don't worry if you already have beaten the fight or you just want to hear the announcements. There is always timestamps in the description, and you can skip ahead if you already know the fight itself. Now before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel and I would really appreciate it, and all that jazz. So let's talk about the fight itself first. We are going to be taking down the Blackened Will again. So the first wave pretty much consists of the Blackened Will and 2 ads. The idea here is to actually kill off the 2 ads first before you actually take on the main body. The reason why you are doing this is because while those 2 ads are up, basically the main body will have a reduced HP damage taken, so you're not doing the most effective damage to it. So having some splash damage here is going to help, or you can just target down those 2 ads. If you have lightning like I am using here, you can do that as well. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. They do die pretty quickly. I would highly suggest bringing along a healer as well, because you are going to be taking a lot of HP damage from this one. So highly recommend a good healer. Rude is a very good one, and if you do have tanks that can reduce the amount of incoming damage you're taking, like for example the character I'm using here is Guy, or Warrior of Light, or even Gladio. Those characters or those tanks are going to be very helpful in reducing the damage that you are going to be taking. You don't necessarily need a tank here, because a lot of the damage you are going to be taking are pretty much all attacks. So a tank that can reduce damage is just recommended. But if you can take those in the face and just heal it back up, it shouldn't be an issue as well. I'm just saying having a tank is just going to make your life a little bit easier. Now as for wave 2, there are basically 5 phases to the fight. It will revive 5 times as far as I remember. Basically the second one will have a reduced brave damage taken, so having some sort of enchant or imperil is going to be helpful in that particular fight, or that particular phase in the fight. The third one, I think it protects itself from break, and then the fourth one will basically need to kill it off as quick as possible, not letting it have a turn. And the reason why is it will use its one-hit KO move and basically will wipe the party. It is going to be a guaranteed hit, so you need to take it down on its 4th life straight away, and make sure you don't let it have a turn. You can save your summon, or you can use your burst on that particular phase. It will give you a little bit of leeway. It will push itself back on the turn order, so you do have a few turns to take it down. It doesn't have a lot of life, but still it is pretty dangerous letting it actually have a turn. On its 5th life, I do believe you can make it have a couple of turns before it actually kills you. So yeah, like I said, saving up your burst or your summon phase during that particular phase in the fight is definitely gonna make it a lot easier. Otherwise, there shouldn't be an issue with this fight. I didn't really have any problems with it, probably from the fact that I have Rude and I have Guy as a backup healer as well / a tank. So I have been meaning to use lightning on the very last of the dimensions, and that was my, I guess, plan from the get-go, unless the boss didn't let me use lightning effectively. So I have saved lightning for the sole purpose, even way back when I didn't know what the last Dimensions End fight was going to be. I was like, I do really want to use lightning on that last fight. So I did save, and eventually I did play the JP version, and I found out about the fight itself. Honestly, I had a little bit of issue in the JP version because obviously I could not understand how the fight worked, but with a few trial and errors I did manage to beat it. So that's it basically for the fight itself. And yeah, let's talk about all the announcements that I want to convey to you guys. Okay, so first things first, I decided to drop a game. That would certainly help with my time management and give me a little bit of space as well. That is, I'm decided to drop Exo's Heroes. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't watch or come to my channel to watch Exo's Heroes, but it has been a big part of my gaming for the last, year basically. And it does take a lot of time. I've decided to drop it because of my own personal reasons. I'm not having as much fun as I used to be. Used to be pretty fun to do PvP on that one, but lately it's been pretty stale, and yeah, I just had to drop it. So that's the first thing I've decided moving forward. Secondly, I have decided to just release videos at my own pace. Basically, you will find that there will be some inconsistencies in my release times, and I kind of have been doing that a little bit, but at least for like Should You Pulls, I have been trying my best to get those out on time. But as you guys know, for like versus videos and any other videos, actually, I just release them at my own pace kind of most of the time. So yeah, that's the second thing. And the third thing, which is probably going to be the biggest thing, is I'm deciding, I guess, whether to drop Should You Pull altogether. I am about 80% to 90% at the moment sure at dropping Should You Pulls, and let me give you guys the reasons why. Number one reason I feel like I would like to drop Should You Pull, it's because it's actually the most time consuming thing that I have to do. I have basically, my days off are basically revolving around making videos in the past year or so. And it doesn't really give me a lot of time to spend with my wife and do some other things that I would probably like to do as well, like playing other games. It doesn't help that I started playing the JP version, by the way. So it does take a lot of my time, and 80 to 90% of my time are spent sitting down making Should You Pulls videos basically for the next week, so it's all prepared. A lot of my Should You Pulls are basically prepared a week in advance, and I try to release them maybe 1 or 2 days before the actual event, and sometimes I decide to release them really early. But for the most part, all my videos are ready a week in advance, and unless there's really some things that I really have to do that made me not be able to do it, but for the most part, for those people who are wondering, they are pretty much ready to go at least 4 to 5 days in advance. But I just release them at a timely manner, just so I don't take all of the limelight from other content creators that say, oh, he's releasing it early because he just wants the view. That's not it. I do have them all ready, I just release them on those times, so the information is a little bit more fresh for people who are watching the video. They don't have to come back and say, what did Munch say again about this character? What does this ability do again? And stuff like that. I want it to be a 1 to 2 days earlier from the event, so that it's a little bit fresh in people's minds, so they don't have to come back and watch the video again. and that's one of the reasons, it takes a lot of time as well doing research, making sure I have the right ones. And yeah, it is basically the biggest part of this channel, and I think it's what made this channel what it is today. A lot of people have come here, when Joseph here, decided to stop doing YouTube videos for a while. I decided to pick up Should You Pull, and I asked in a poll whether I should just drop it at that time, because even back then I felt like, it's his thing, and 40 does the same thing, and I felt like, those people are good enough. You got Liz as well, you got other new content creators doing Should You Pulls. I thought they were enough. I didn't need to do it, but a lot of you guys said, it's actually better if there's a lot more people, making videos and spreading information and another perspective. So I decided to stick with it, and honestly, it's burnt me out. I have probably thought about stopping, Should You Pulls for maybe 3 times now, and that's a lot. That's a lot of times that in my head I'm like, I think I should just drop this. If I drop this, I'll just have more time, and so that's why now I'm letting you guys know that I feel like 80 to 90% that I'm feeling like I should just drop it. And the second reason why I think it's a good time to drop it now is because a lot of the characters that are coming out actually has value. There's probably one character in my head right now that probably doesn't bring a lot to the table, and that is Sarah's LD. Which I think a lot of people were pretty disappointed with it, but it's not like she's gonna be trash. She's still gonna be an option, right? I think every single character that comes out has value, and for me to say, okay, don't pull, it really gives me a lot of backlash from the community, and maybe they are a minority, but I can still feel that backlash. I felt like maybe I can't say anything bad anymore, not even one negative thing towards a character. Even though sometimes I feel like I should be saying something, I kind of take a spin to it. Like, okay, I'll say something positive and maybe just a little bit of negative here. And, it just doesn't feel like a genuine opinion anymore. It feels like I'm hiding, That's why if you watch my Vincent pulls for his LD, I mentioned my thoughts about him as well during that video. I just said it like I felt, like I felt like the event was just a Balthier 2.0. I don't see the hype as much as other people did. I thought that he was an okay character. But he wasn't like game breaking, right? So, those are probably my feelings right now with Should You Pulls. Like, I couldn't be as genuine as I wanted to be because I'm kind of felt like there's a lot of backlash, even if it's just like one thing, like a small thing. People make a big deal out of it, and again, I know it's probably a minority of people, but I just had enough. I just had enough. I don't really want to talk about it. If you feel that way, that's fine, but you don't have to attack me. You don't have to attack my opinion. It is an opinion. If I tell you, like, you should pull on this character because this and this and this, that's just my opinion. You don't have to follow it. But a lot of people doesn't seem to understand, and I feel like I've had enough arguing with people, And sometimes, you know, there's some good arguments that come out of it. Like, people say, oh, you know, this and this. Oh, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, you're right. I missed that. Or, yeah, that's a good point. But, yeah, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of, like, seeing those comments as well. That's why I feel like there's really no more reasons to do should you pulls. I mean, I can probably still state my opinion, but I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle, where a lot of the characters that come out have a lot of value to them, and it's hard to find something that's not good about that character. And if you do find that something, people are just gonna attack you because you found that one thing. So at this point, I'm not really sure whether I'm really going back to making should you pulls, or just going back and making video guides like I used to. I had more fun making those videos, and I like helping the community more on those fights that are very difficult. But yeah, at this point, I'm not really sure, and please don't consider this that I am officially back on YouTube, because at this point I'm still unsure. I'm still unsure on how I am going to approach this. But I thought I'd give you guys an update on how I feel currently. And if you've been on this channel, you know, you're sticking by this channel, thank you very much for all the support. And I promise you guys, I'm still going to be releasing videos, just a little bit more inconsistent at the moment, until things just settle down with work, with life. You know, I think that's just the biggest thing right now. We are not back to normal just yet. We are just not back to normal just yet. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough. I probably can think of a few more things to say, but I don't really want to bore you guys with more stuff. So I think I'll end the video right here. And again, please do, you know, subscribe and like. Even though I feel like, you know, I'm saying things are going to be inconsistent, but if you did enjoy this video, it does help that you do subscribe and hit that like button. And if you share the video, if you find it helpful at all, you know, the first part of this video is pretty helpful, I think, in my opinion. You know, and if you would like a much broader, I guess, a much more broader video guide, I am considering doing that once again. You know, recommending characters and such like that. I really miss those times, and I really had fun making those videos because I felt like they were very, very helpful, especially to new players. Anyway, that's it for me. This is Munchkin logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next level.